Alright, this is one more video about one of the objects that is created in NIRS Toolbox. So previously we had gone over the data object, which is actually made once you import data into the NIRS Toolbox. Here I've actually run my pipeline already. So I've already gone through my job pipeline, and I've actually done this GLM job. That was my final job that I made in my J variable here. The J variable is going to be meant on my Python or my pipeline. It actually houses a method called the run method, which enables me to run it on my data. I then put it out into a variable called the href variable in this term that stands for hemodynamic response function. What I want to show you though is not the job pipeline, but here on this href variable, you'll see the value now is a 1-by-1 channel stats variable. I can open this up and you actually see several different properties built in here. But again, just as in the video with the data object, I'm going to put help and I'm going to do href for my variable here. If I then open up the reference page for nirs.core.channelstats, you'll see that this holds the regression stats for the channel space. You'll see all the properties in it, which are now going to be beta coefficients, covariance of the betas, degrees of freedom. All of these variables here are now actually mentioned briefly in a little bit more depth. You also have the methods that you can actually now apply. So now you can actually see, you can get the critical T value, you can draw the betas. It does it on a probe geometry in kind of a heat maps-like style. You can print out a table, you can do a T test, you can do an F test, you can do all these different things. So this is actually going to be your final, more or less, your final output from the NIRS Toolbox. When you run this GLM, you create this channel stats variable, which is then going to be whatever variable you output, and you can then print out all your values either visually or in a table format. Visually meaning in a kind of two-dimensional probe set. Anyway, I hope this helps. We'll go in a little bit more detail of how you can actually use these properties, how you can play around with them, and what they're actually meaning as you go through it. But again, I do hope that was of use.